So how we can check this SQL server is installed properly or not, and all the services are running or not? Okay, right. Just go to run and services.msc. After the installation is over, it's better to restart your machine. So these are all the services running. Okay, so SQL server, this is the database engine. SQL server is running. Okay, and so if you observe here, automatic. So whenever you are installing SQL server, so if you are putting this automatic and manual, right? So if you are putting this automatic, automatically it will run whenever you are logged into the machine. So the manual means you have to start these services manually. Okay, until you are starting these services, it won't start. Okay, right. So here the SQL server database engine and SSAS and SSIS and SSRS are already in automatically run. Okay, so on which account under which account these are running? These are the service accounts. Okay, under this account these services are running. Okay, right. So we can check here also. Go to all programs. So where is that folder? Microsoft SQL Server 2008 R2. Okay, right. So here if you observe, there is SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, so this is the studio we are going to write any SQL queries and tables, everything. The database maintenance you have to do in SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, the remaining SSIS and SSRS and SSAS related things you have to design, and you have to work on SQL Server Business Intelligence Development Studio. Okay, these are the two platforms we are going to work. This SQL Server SSMS. Okay, this is purely for database related. This SQL Server Business Intelligence Development Studio, this we are calling simply BITS. Okay, this BITS is purely for SSIS, SSRS and SSES purpose. Okay, right. Right. So now I am going to open this SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, you just click on this SQL Server Management Studio. So it is opening this SQL Server Management Studio. Right. So if you observe here the server type, so what kind of server you are going to log in? Okay, database engine, analysis service, reporting services, SQL server, sorry, integration services. So this database engine is nothing but it's a purely for SQL server. Okay, right. So here you have to give the server name. Okay, if you don't know the server name, you just give the dot. Okay, if you are giving the dot, that means it is taking the default system name. Okay, so wherever you are installing your SQL server, okay, that machine name it will take. Okay, that machine name is nothing but the server name. Okay, if you know the your machine name, okay, then you can give your machine name. Okay, right. So there are two kind of authentication modes, right? Whenever we are installing, so I told at the time of installation, so you can take the mixed mode. Okay, if you are taking the mixed mode for the authentication, okay, then it will allow to log into this SQL server in two different modes: Windows authentication and SQL server authentication. Okay, in the installation you got two options. One is only Windows authentication, one is mixed mode. Mixed mode means it's a combination of Windows authentication and SQL server authentication. If you are selecting the Windows authentication, it will take by default whatever your machine login name. Okay, whatever your machine login name it will take. Okay, and so no need to give any passwords and username. Okay, by default whatever the machine name is taking, okay, that will take. Okay, right. So if you want to connect to the SQL server authentication, right, so you have to give username and password. This username is a default username SCA. Okay, that password you have given at the time of installation, the same password you have to give here 1 2 3 4 connect. Just click on connect. Okay, right? So once you are connecting to this SQL Server Management Studio, you can see this Object Explorer. Okay, you can see this Object Explorer. So this Object Explorer having all the objects. Okay, so how you can open this Object Explorer? From where you can open this Object Explorer? You just come to View, okay, and click on Object Explorer. Got it? So in the Object Explorer, so the first thing is databases. Okay, the first thing is databases. What's this, Nitya? Do you want anything? Right. So databases. Okay, so if you are coming to this databases, it is a system database. Okay, if you observe here, there are system databases. What are the system databases? System databases means, so these are the databases we are not creating. Okay, this by default at the time of installation, automatically it's creating these 4 databases. Okay, right. So what is the functionality of each database? Definitely each database having a different functionality, right? So this master database having all the login information, right? So if you want to log into this SQL Server Management Studio, definitely you have to provide username and password. After providing the username and password, it is trying to authenticate in this master database. It is trying to check up whether this whatever the username and password you have provided, that is matched with the username and password already existing in the master database. Okay, then it's matched, then you can log in, right? So if you don't have this master database, if you are deleting this master database, what happen? You can't log into this SQL Server Management Studio. Got it? Right. What about this model database? This model database is a sample database for if you want to create a user defined database, then for the user defined database is taking the copy of model database. Okay. So whenever you are going to create a user defined database, it is just taking a model. A model database is there, right? So this model database, it is taking the, it is giving a copy exact model database. For example, if you are creating 100 tables in the model database, so whenever you are going to create a new database, user defined database, then that database definitely having these 100 tables, because it is just taking the structure of model database. Okay, and what about the MSDB? This MSDB database having some login, some SQL Server agent related jobs and with that kind of information the MSDB having. What about the temp database? What about the temporary database? Yes. So for example, if you are writing one query and you are going to execute that query, and definitely that query needs some memory to execute and to store the information, whatever the information it is going to display, right? It needs some uh, temporary memory, right? So these kind of temporary processings and temporary tables, temporary objects, it's not permanent things. Okay, has to store, it needs a database, that is the temporary database. Okay, if you are coming to the inside this databases, everywhere similar tables, views, synonyms, programmability, service broker. Okay, the major things, major objects in the databases as a developer: tables, views, synonyms, programmability. If you are coming to the under the programmability, you can find stored procedures and functions and triggers. Okay, these are the most important things. Okay, under the database. Okay, right. Now I'm going to create a database. How to create a new database. So if you want to write down any queries and anything, so you just click on new query. Okay, you just click on new query. This is the new query you have to write down. Okay, got it? Right. So this is the window you have to this is the window you have to write here. Okay, so right, how to create a database, right? How to create a new database, because why you have to create a database? So if you are not creating a database, where you can create the tables? So you don't create any tables and anything on system databases, because these are all having some system information. Okay, so don't use these databases. I'm going to create one user defined database, my own database. Okay, how to create a database, right? Create database. Okay, and database name. So this database name you can give any name, right? You can give any name. A database name is something like msbi. Okay, then you are writing this statement, right? So how to execute this statement? You have to execute this statement. Okay, then it will create a database, right? So you just click on execute. Command completed successfully, that means it is creating a database, right? So where you can see the databases, you just refresh these databases, right? You can see here the databases. So this way you can create a many number of databases, and each database is coming here, right? If you observe here, the database, under the database, the tables, views, synonyms, programmability, this is almost similar to like model database, right? This is almost similar to model database. This is just taking a copy from model database. For example, if you are creating one table in a model database, okay, if you are creating one table in the model database, right? So if you are coming to here, select the model database. Okay, create table, table name emp, and I'm going to take one column integer, just simple table I have created. Okay, executed, sorry. Okay, one table created, you can check here. This employee table in model database, right? So I'm going to create a new database. I'm going to delete this one. Now there is no database. Okay, right? So I'm going to create this database. Create database msbi. Command completed successfully. Refresh it. msba is created, and come to tables, right? You didn't create any table in msba database, right? Then how it is coming? So that means it is, whenever you are creating any new databases, it is taking a snapshot. It is taking the snapshot of model database. So this model database having employee table, that's why it is taking emp table. Okay, right? So just delete this table, drop this table. Okay, so don't create any tables in master database and model database and msdb tempdb. These are purely related for system database. If you want to create anything, so you have to use your own database, right? So whatever the work you are going to write, do here in this window, and whatever the queries and whatever the statements you are going to write here, so you have to select the proper databases, in which database you are going to work, in which database you are going to work. So you have to select the particular database here. In the drop down you have to select here. Okay, so based on that you can write any statements. Okay, right. So there are some specific commands in the SQL server. Okay, there are some specific commands in SQL server, right? Before we are going to write these SQL commands, so after you are creating a database, okay, if you are going to the database properties, okay, If you are coming to the files, if you observe here, there are two files created. There are two files created. One is msbi.mdf and one is msbi underscore log.ldf. Right? Right. What is these two files? After you are creating a database, so two files are coming. What is these two files? So the first one is a main data file. Okay, the first one is main data file. This is the primary file. If you are losing this .mdf file, then your tables and your data, everything you lost. This msbi underscore log.ldf is a log file. It's a log file. Log file means, see, for example, if you are deleting anything and if you are doing any operations, so that kind of logging information is saved in this log file. It's not an important one, right? So the main primary information and rows, everything, tables and data, everything exists in this msbi.mdf. So where this database is stored, in which location? C folder, program files, Microsoft SQL Server, MS SQL Server, MS SQL data. In this folder, this database is stored. Okay, so right, we can see this folder. Go to C folder. C folder, program files, Microsoft SQL Server, and MS SQL Server, MS SQL. Go to data, continues. You can see here your database. These are already databases I have created in the past. Okay, the database is msba, right? Where you can find, right? So this is the msba database. Okay, this is the main mdf database and this is the main ldf file. Got it? Right. So these are the main database files. Okay, so you can take, you can copy and you can paste somewhere and you can attach in some other servers also. Okay, this is the main data file, right? Just close this one, right? So now everything clear. So you have created a msba database. Okay, and after creating the database, okay, after creating the database, we are going to create some tables, right? So before creating the tables, you have to know some commands. You have to know some commands in SQL Server. Okay, those are DML commands. What are the DML commands? Data manipulation language. Okay, data manipulation language. So some of the data manipulation language commands are insert, delete, update, one more is missing, right? Which one? Insert, delete, update. If you are coming to the DDL commands, is anybody can answer that question? Data definition language. Okay, so these commands are create, truncate, and drop.
Alter.
Yes, alter, right? So one is missing here. Can you answer that one? Which one is missing? Anybody can answer. the main heart of SQL server, select, right? So without select there is no SQL server, right? There is no use. Okay, so these are the main commands we are using regularly in SQL server. Okay, right. So if you want to minimize this below window, result window, okay, if you want to minimize this below window, so you just this window, okay, this window, if you want to minimize this one, you just press Control R, okay, Control R, right, Control R, Control R, Control R, okay, right. So we'll see what is the difference between this DML and why we are separating this. These are DML commands and these are DDL commands. Okay, so this is the basic interview question in SQL Server, but most of the people are not answering this question. They are forgetting, wow, which one is a DML and which was DDL. Something confusion, right? Right. So the major difference between this DML and DDL statement is, if you observe here, these all statements, insert, delete, update, select, these all statements working on only table level. If you observe here, these data definition languages, create, truncate, drop, alert, all these commands are working on entire database level, not only the table level. You can create a table, you can create a database, right? You can use this sorry, so these are all database level, these are all only table level only. If you want to manipulate any data inside a table, then you can use this data manipulation commands, insert, delete, update, select, right, right. So first we will see this create command. So how to create a table by using create command, right? So right, create table. So if you want to code the if you want to comment it out, you just click here, okay, right, create table, table name emp. I think already we have this table name, right, right. So you have already emp table. I want to delete this one. Create table emp. So it's, guys, it's better to write any statement in caps letter, okay, because that SQL server is recognizing easily the caps letter, okay. It should be a performance point of view also, right. So bracket open, the first column name you have to put here, okay. So I'm going to create a table with 4 column names, okay. So the table name is emp and the column names are employee number and employee name and salary and joining date, okay, right. So the first column name is employee number, right, right. So here you have to mention the data type, okay. Here you have to mention the data type. Data type means what kind of data you are going to insert, what kind of data you are going to insert, right, right. So before we are going to create this table, we have to see what are the data types in SQL server. What are the different data types in SQL server, right? For example, if you want to insert numeric numbers like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, so the data type for this one is integer data type, okay. You just put simply int, integer data type, okay, integer data type. So it will insert numeric values, right? So this is created, one column is adding and one more column, so you have to put comma, employee name, I want to make it the big letters, right? Employee name space. What is the data type? So basically the names are characters, right? Ram is a character. It's not a numeric, right? So for the character data types, what kind of data type you are going to use, right? So basically there are three kind of data types here. So one is char data type. Okay. The second one is varchar. The third one is nvarchar. So you have three data types for strings. To maintain the characters, you have three data types. So then which data type you have to use for maintaining this data? Then what is the difference between this char data type, varchar and nvarchar? Right. The major difference between this okay, the major difference between this char and varchar and nvarchar is, okay, so for example, if you are creating employee name with char, okay, so you have to give the length also. You can give any length, okay. So this means you are going to allow employee name only for 10 characters. The length of this data type is 10 characters. If you are trying to give the employee name more than 10 characters, it is not allowing. Got it? Right. So if you are making the char 10, that means it is taking the space 10 bytes. For example, if you are inserting employee name is only Ram, Ram has only 3 characters, it's occupying only 3 bytes, right? So but if you are initiating this employee name column as a character data type, char data type, so even if you are inserting the 3 characters, but it is allocating 10 bytes of memory, so the remaining 7, so Ram is a 3 characters, but you are mentioning here 10 characters, right? This column, so remaining 7 characters is the memory is waste, it is not using, right? So that seven remaining characters, it's a null value, it is wasting the memory. So that's why we are not using this character data type. If you are using the varchar instead of character, if you are using varchar, for example, if you are initializing the length of this employee name is 10 characters, that means so it is not allowing more than 10 characters, the same for character, but the difference between this character and var character is, for example, if you are inserting here ram having only 3 characters, right? So here you are allocating 10 characters, right? So how many characters you are inserted to this employee name, that much of space only it is taking. It will release the remaining 7 character space, and that remaining space you can use in another, but in the character it is not releasing the unnecessary space, it is using unnecessary space also. Okay, right. So then what about this nvarchar? Okay, what is the difference between this varchar and nvarchar? Right, right. So this varchar data type is a non-unicode data type, and this nvarchar is a unicode data type. Then what is non-unicode and what is unicode? Okay, so the non-unicode means it's a English characters, the languages like Indian, Chinese, sorry, Indian, US, these guys are using English language, right? English language. So if you want to keep, if you want to maintain the data like this English language like A B C D's, right? So these are the characters, right? So this is a non-unicode, non-unicode. And if you are observe the Japanese, Korean, languages are unique code format, unique code languages. Okay, these are something little bit difficult and a little bit different. These guys are not using abcds, not English languages. These characters and these strings are different. Whenever you are comparing with English, these language is very different. Okay, so if you want to maintain these kind of languages, then definitely you have to take n varchar data type. If you want to maintain only English languages, you can take varchar data type. Got it? Right. So, and one more difference. So it will, for example, if you are giving 4,000 here, varchar, the length is 4,000. It is inserting, it is allowing 4,000 characters. That means each character taking single byte. But if you are coming to the n varchar max, if you are putting here 4,000, it is allowing only 2,000 characters, 2,000 Unicode characters. That means it is taking for each character 2 bytes, because the Unicode characters are very different, and these are taking double space whenever you are comparing with non-Unicode characters. Non-Unicode characters are nothing but English languages. Okay, Japanese, Korean, these are Unicode. Okay, right. So you can put max. The max means it is allowing varchar. If you are putting varchar max, it is allowing up to 2 GB of the memory. Okay, 2 GB of the memory. If you are not specifying anything, if you are putting just varchar, that means it is allowing only 1 byte. 1 byte means one character, single character. Okay, right. So now I am going to take here only 10 for employee name. Okay, right. So the next one is salary. Okay, right. The salary data type is, for example, per hour basis. Per hour is taking 10.50, right? So if you want to put the data is points, so you have to use float data type. Okay, the float data type like 10.50 comma 12.45, this way. Okay, and you have a decimal. If you want to maintain the decimal data type, so in the decimal you have to specify the precision value, right? For example, if you are keeping 2,4, that means it is allowing two numbers. For example, 12.3456. This 4 means this after the point how many numbers you are going to allow, and these means this is these two. Okay, so what is the difference between this float and this decimal? So both are almost similar, but this decimal having more range compared to float data type. So this float data type allowing only up to 18 numbers in precision, but the decimal it is allowing up to 38. Okay, so that is the difference between the float and the decimal, right? So here I am going to take float. So joining date, the next one is joining date. So the joining date means that is a different, so you have to insert the date like dates. So the data types for the dates are date. So if you are taking the date, you have to insert only dates. That means today date is 11/19/2015. If you want to insert the time, you can take the data type as a time. If you want to insert the combination of date and time both, then date time. So there is one more data type, that is date time 2. So what is the difference between this date time and date time 2? So basically, if you want to insert, if you want to maintain the data like before 17,000, year. This is the 17,000 year. Okay, below the 17,000 year, if you want to insert, then you have to use date time too. This is the greater than 17,000 year only. For example, 2000, 2015, 2014, these kind of years it is allowing. The below to 17,000, if you want to insert, you have to definitely use date time too. And one more thing, for example, if I am going to take, I will take the current time. Okay, so this is the current time. Okay, this is the year, month, date. This is the hours, this is the minutes, this is the seconds, this is milliseconds. So if you are taking this is this is a date time. So up to three numbers only it is allowing for milliseconds. If you are using date time 2, it is allowing more than 3 nanoseconds also. That is the difference between date time and date time 2. So you have one more data type, SQL underscore variant. So if you are taking this, the data type is SQL variant, any kind of data it is allowing to insert. Okay, for example, if you are taking in int data, it is allowing only numeric data. If you are taking varchar, it is allowing only character data type, float data type. If you are taking SQL variant as a data type for this employee number, it is allowing whether it is a string or whether it is a any kind of data type. Okay, right here I am going to take date time, bracket close. Right, so you have some more data types, text, image. Okay, so these are also, if you want to insert more statements, number of paragraphs of the data, you can use text also. Image also, if you want to insert any images, you can use image data type. Okay, so majorly mostly 99% we are using integer data type, varchar, float, date time. So these are the four major data types. 99% of the data basis tables having these four databases only. Okay, these are the major databases. So these are the major data types. Right. So now I am going to create this table. Create table. The table name is emp and the column name is employee number and the data type is integer. Okay, let's give a second. Right, so employee name is a column name, that is characters. Salary is a float data type, comma joining date is date time. Right, now I am going to create this table. So if we have a more number of statements in this window, right, so you want to execute only specific statements, right, so you have to highlight this statement and click on execute, or you can press F5 also. You can press F5 also, it is executing the statement. Now I am going to click on execute. Okay, on which database you are going to execute this statement, that is important. Okay, if you are selecting here master database, so then this table will create in master database. Okay, so you have to select MSBI database, whatever the database you are going to work. Right, I'm going to check here whether the table is created or not. Yes, the employee table is created. Okay, the column names, employee number, employee name, salary, joining date. Okay, these are the four columns and the data type is integer, varchar 10 and salary float and joining date is date time. Okay, so this is the first command in DDL commands, create. Right, so I have created one table. Right, so after creating the table, so I want to see the data. I want to see the data whether this table having is created or not. So yes, the table is created. If there is any data, so we'll check. How you can check? Select all the column names, employee number, employee name, salary, joining date, from which table? EMP table. Select employee number, employee name, salary, comma, joining date. You are specifying all the list of column names in this table from this table. So I'm going to highlight this one and execute. Yes, these 4 columns are there, but there is no data. Got it? There is no data. Okay, right. So I'm going to insert the data. Okay, I'm going to insert the data. Right, before going to insert the data, right, you have selected 4 columns, so that's why it is displaying 4 columns. If you want to see only 2 columns, okay, then you have to put only 2 columns. Okay, don't put the comma here. Okay, if you are putting the comma here, it is showing error. So you have to put in between the column names only. I'm going to execute this one. Employee number, employee name, because you are keeping only 2 columns, right? So you don't want to mention any column names. If you want to see all the column names, you just put simply star. Okay, it will give all the column names. Okay, so always try to specify the column names. Okay, that will improve your SQL server query performance. Don't use star. Okay, always try to put employee number, employee name, salary, joining date, right? These are the 4, right? So if you are executing this query, it is showing the column name is employee number, employee name, salary, joining date. For example, if you don't want to display, okay, if you don't want to display this employee number as E number, if you want to display this employee number as a EMP number, okay, so you have to put yes for this.
The order which you have given, 2 for 7 and 11, but 11 not 7 by 2. For 7 to 7 for 2. 0 7 2 4.
Guys, somebody, okay, right, employee number, okay, as alias name you have given, right? So for this column you are going to give alias name as this one. So if you are executing this one, so it is showing EMP number, right? But the data is coming for this employee number only, but it is displaying column name as a employee number. This is called alias name. Okay, right. Now I am going to insert the data into this table. Okay, I have created one table and I'm going to insert the data into this table. Right now I don't have any data. How to insert a data into the table? Right, so you have to use insert command. Insert into what table? The table name is EMP. Okay, bracket open, and what are the columns? What are the columns are there? Employee number, employee name, salary, joining date. Okay, joining date. Values. So what values you are going to insert? So for the employee number, so you have to write down the sequence. For this employee number, what value you are going to insert, and for this employee name, what value you are going to insert. For salary, what value you are going to insert. For joining, what value you are going to insert. Okay, right. So I'm going to write down here, this is a employee number is 100, comma, employee name is, you have to put in single quotes wherever you are specifying any string. Okay, you have to put in single quotes, comma, the rate per hour is 10.50. okay, comma, and the date also you have to put in single quotes. Okay, and finally you have to close the bracket. Now I am going to execute this one. I'm highlighting this one and execute this one. One row affected. One row affected means it is inserting one row. How you know whether it is inserting or not? So you can select the statement. You can select the employee number, employee name, salary, all the columns from this table. Click execute. Right? So it is inserting employee number, from, salary, joining date. 4 columns it is inserted.
How about like date format?
Yes, the date format you can insert any kind of date formats. For example, if you want to insert this format, you can insert this format also.
Oh, like month, date,
Yeah.
year.
If you want to insert month date, right, or the date month year. For example,
Yeah, anything.
01, the month is 02 and 2015. Okay, if you want to insert this one, right, so as a new record I am going to insert. The employee number is 200, the employee name is Nitya, and the rate per hour is 20. Okay, so now I am going to insert this one, execute. One more row affected. I want to see the data, right? Oh, okay. So in any format if you are inserting, then it is taking by default format is this one. Okay, by default the format is this one, but so whenever you are going to present this data, whenever you are going to fetch this data, you can convert this data by using some convert function. Okay, so that convert function we will discuss later. Okay, how we are going to present this data by using some convert functions we are using, and we can show the data in whatever the required format. In which format you are expecting, that format you can convert by using some functions. Okay, right. So this way you can insert the data. For example, if you don't want to insert any date, if you don't want to insert any date, and you can delete here joining date also. Right, employee number is 300, the name is Rohini. Okay, rate per hour is 30. Right, now we can execute. So I am going to insert only for 3 columns: employee number, employee name, salary. I don't want to insert any date. Execute. One row affected. Right, it is null because you are not inserting any value. If you are not inserting any value, by default it is taking as a null value. Okay, it's taking as a null value, right? So so that sequence you have to follow here, right. So if you want to insert all the rows, sorry, all the all the columns, you no need to mention this list of the columns. Okay, you no need to mention this list of the columns. 400 Kirti. Okay, right. The fourth one also inserted. So if you don't want to insert this date, it is throwing error because you are trying to insert only 3 columns, but there is 4 columns, right? So you don't know for which columns you are going to insert these 3 columns, these 3 rows, three data, right? So you have to specify in this case the column list: employee number, employee name, and salary. Employee number is 500 and name is Usha. Under affected. 500 Usha is inserted. So what do you observe here? So if you want to insert all the rows from this table, you no need to specify the list of the tables. If you don't want to insert all the columns list, you have to specify the list of the columns, because you are trying to insert only 3 columns, but this table having 4 columns. So it has to match, right? It has to match this data you are going to which column. That is incompatibility, right? 4 columns and 3 values. How it can change? So in that situation, you have to specify this employee number you are going to match here, and this employee name you are going to match here, and this salary you are going to match here. Okay, so this way you can insert the data. Got it? Right? So we have covered insert and select statement and create statement. Okay, so the remaining truncate, drop, alter and update, delete we can see in the tomorrow session. Any doubts guys up to these topics? Please ask me. Any doubts? Right, everything clear, right? So I'm going to close this session. Yes, I will send now. I will send now. Yes, I will send now. Okay, I will forward to this coordinator Yusha. Okay, she will forward to all of you guys. Okay, just I just upload into the Google Drive. Okay.
And can we also get access to the recorded videos?
Yes, these videos are also the Usha will forward to you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the joining. Okay. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.